So this one is a bit out of left field, but I decided I wanted to try out Lake Haven Chrysalis, as I saw it on Steam not long ago, and it looked very Silent Hill PS1 era-ish.
The words he used to explain the case were so usual in my line of work. A woman in her late 20s, last seen a few weeks ago. But this time something was off. I felt it in my bones. I wouldn't be coming home tonight.
So we start out upside down. It's a little strange, but I guess if you want to be a bit more cinegraphic with it, then that's fine. So far, this intro has a very mellow kind of feel to it. Like a disarming sort of thing. Although as somebody that lives around the Midwest, corn isn't exactly the most exciting thing to look at. And spooky houses in the middle of corn are always not very fun either. But getting started, we're just going to start working our way towards the haunted house. September 22nd, 1988.
Dear Eleanor, I'm writing this letter because I don't know what else to do. You didn't respond to any of my phone calls. Are you alright? I heard about what happened between you and James, and while I know it's difficult to cope in these kinds of situations, locking yourself away is the worst thing that you can do, dearie. I would drive over to check in on you in person, but my hip's still not quite recovered from the op. You're always welcome here, though, Eleanor. You know that. Your friend, Marianne. Dear Eleanor, it's been 2 weeks since I sent you my letter. I am really concerned about you. Please give me a sign that you're okay. Your friend, Marianne.
October 3rd, 1988.
Dear Eleanor, I really don't want to do this, but if I don't hear from you soon, I'll have to contact the police. Your friend, Marianne.
Apparently Marianne has some concerns about Eleanor and James. Oop, almost missed this note on the wall here, but we're going to read it.
Dear Eleanor, I can't take it anymore. Last night I could hardly recognize you. You are not the woman I met at college. You are not the woman I fell for. You're not the woman I married. I know you've had a rough few months, but so have I. Right now I have to look after myself because I sense some terrible purpose behind your gaze and I fear for my safety. Please forgive me for leaving you here. With love, James.
So far it seems like James has evacuated the premises, leaving Eleanor to her own devices. And now we have a locked basement with heavy chains and a padlock. And what appears to be a fresh mound of loose dirt. So I guess we're going to go check out other things since we can't do anything with the dirt. And we're just going to go down a well in the middle of nowhere behind the creepy house and find a note on the wall. February 7th, 1985.
Dear Diary, last night I had the most frightening dream. I was lost in a large hall with giant stone columns set upon an ever-expanding marble floor with a chessboard pattern. There were 4 men standing in front of me, taunting me, laughing at me, and telling me I won't be the same person afterwards. What did they mean? 3 of them had their faces covered with strange tendrils and flowers. The 4th man's face was also obscured, but somehow he felt different to the others. Somehow I felt empathy from him. All I could think about is how I wanted him to just turn around and tell me everything would be okay, but he seemed to be looking for someone else.
May 19th, 1985.
Dear Diary, I'm so tired. The creeps from my dreams refuse to let me sleep. Every time I'm about to drift off, one of them appears, whispering thoughts in my ear that I dare not write down, lest I make these abominable things real. I don't want to tell James what's happened to me. As kind as he is, what kind of man would stay with someone as broken as I?
So, seems like Eleanor was slowly losing her marbles. Let's go around the corner and just see a bloody table with a key on it. Nothing suspicious here. So we'll go ahead and take this key. Looks like 2 stone panels on the wall over there, but we don't really have anything to do with those yet. We're gonna go back up the ladder. And let's check out this fenced area back here. Looks like a barn and a silo. The door's broken on the silo. And what the hell is that? The tiny guy. Neat. Let's see if we can get in the barn really quick. And looks like a shovel in the wheelbarrow. So we're going to go ahead and take that. And there's also a ladder back here. I like this camera angle. It almost looks like something is watching us. We find a book on this desk. And of course, we are going to take it, because why not? Has a dried poppy for a bookmark. And nothing in it. That appears to be most everything that's up here, so we're gonna go ahead and go. So we'll just head our way back to the house. Since we just got a shovel, we're going to go ahead and try and get this loose mound dug up. And our shovel broke. And they made that big of a hole for this tiny little key. Well, we have multiple keys, so now we're going to go to the front door and get that opened using our heavy iron key. And somebody's really enjoying their TV right here.
It looks like I was too late. By my estimates, she's been here for over a week. She appears to have suffered several lacerations. Although the ultimate cause of death remains unclear, I should search the area for clues. I'll get to the bottom of this.
So it looks like the last thing that they were watching was a nature documentary. A little strange. I think if I wanted to die to anything, it probably wouldn't be that. But whatever floats the boat. And it looks like they left something on the plate over here. Maybe a half slab of ribs. Or rotten flesh. Maybe she was a zombie. September 21st, 1985.
Dear Diary, I told James everything today. I wasn't able to keep it a secret anymore. I can't even remember the last time I slept. Over the last few weeks, he's shown much concern for me. He says I am looking pale and that I have not been acting myself. I've tried to get him to understand the glimpses of truth that I have witnessed, but he just looks at me like I'm crazy. He even asked if I was on drugs. He doesn't know me at all. I have to sleep, but how many more times will I be safe to enter my dreams until they finally get me?
January 5th, 1986.
Dear Diary, I'm feeling much better since the doctor prescribed me the antipsychotic medication. He says I'm not psychotic. He just gave me them off-label for sleeping. When I take them, I am unconscious within an hour and I evade the dreams entirely. It's so relieving to wake up in the morning. Even if my limbs feel as though they're weighed down by sandbags, I can live again.
Well, it seems like Eleanor was having a really terrible time very quickly, but there's also this key that was left on the counter. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that and head upstairs. And it is pitch black in this room right now. We've got a painting of poppies, which is ironic considering we have the poppy in our inventory, so we're going to go ahead and push the button on this painting. And there's a key behind it. I'm not sure what makes a key feel good in your hands, but apparently it does. And here we have a bathroom with the Silent Hill 4 hole in the wall. And apparently some boards over it. I also don't want to pee in this place because that would make me look like I killed her. So, good call me. February 4th, 1987.
There's someone else in the house besides me. I thought that James had come home early from visiting his sister in Lake Haven, but there's no sign of his car, so it can't be him. I keep hearing an unsettling sound coming from the attic. It sounds like a mixture of whispering and slithering. I finally mustered the courage to investigate the attic. To my surprise, there wasn't a single living soul in sight, but my eyes must have betrayed me as I could still hear this incessant whispering as if it's being spoken through my bones.
So, apparently Eleanor was hearing voices. That's not really a good thing whenever you're home alone. But we're going to go ahead and take our rusty key and go back to this cellar here. See if we can open it. And of all the places that you want to go in a horror game, the basement is definitely one of them. And now we've got a toolbox that has a small lock on it. So how do we open a small lock? With a small key. We're going to go ahead and do that. And now our character has evolved into Gordon Freeman. So we're going to go ahead and take the crowbar. There's a giant metal door here with apparently 2 keyholes. So that's interesting. We can't open it with a crowbar, but apparently we can use it on our meat. Really? You want to use it on the book? Kind of interesting that there are combined text stuff. Go ahead and go back down in the well. And if anybody remembers, there was that sacrificial altar with the blood on it. So what do we have to sacrifice? What, a half slab of ribs? Well, that certainly wasn't expected, but it still gave us something, so we'll go ahead and take those. We got clock hands. Which there was a clock back in the main room, so we're going to go ahead and have those for it. Just work our way back inside the house. And go back upstairs. Now that we have a crowbar, we do know that there are boards that can currently be removed. So we can go ahead and do that. And it looks like a crescent key, which we just examined a door that asked us about crescent keys. We're going to go ahead and take that and use it on that door. There's a conspicuous cup of coffee sitting over on the windowsill. April 7th, 1987.
James came back from his business trip today. Something seems off with him, but I can't put my finger on it. His eyes, have they always been green? What is he keeping from me?
July 9th, 1987.
They are real. The 3 men are real. Why is James lying to me, telling me that I'm delusional? Last night, one of them was looming over me while we were in bed. I felt his hideous presence within 2 feet of me, and James still had the nerve to tell me it was all in my head. Probably sleep paralysis, he said. I don't want this to start all over again.
And Mary's having some terrible times.
The people of the village looked on in terror as the beast's hideous visage crested the mounds of rocks to the east. A wretched screech was enough to make all the king's men take flight. All, bar one, that is. The valiant archer drew his bow in defiance and unleashed a devastating bolt of iron and oak that ripped through the chimera's heart with absolute divine authority.
And looks like a story. We can try and combine that with our book here. And it does work. We also have a painting back here with some numbers. And apparently our guy doesn't agree with additions to paintings. Examine the cup of coffee, and it's still steaming hot somehow. But it does let us save our progress. I don't exactly know how the cup of coffee is still hot whenever apparently the lady downstairs has been dead for a week or so. But apparently she also has a hook in her closet. Little weird. She has no clothes, but she has a hook. We do have this shovel handle, and the hook has a notch on it, so we're going to go ahead and combine those. So we can try and open up this door down here at the bottom of the stairs. Go on in. We have ourselves a tablet over here, which, if anybody remembers, in the bottom of the well, seems like a good place to start with it. But then we also have a book over here.
At that time, Jesus came from Nazareth in Galilee and was baptized by John in the Jordan. Just as Jesus was coming up out of the water, he saw heaven being torn open and the Spirit descending on him like a dove. And a voice came from heaven.
"You are my Son, whom I love. With you I am well pleased."
Passage about Jesus, a dove, and John. And we have a clock and the hands, but we don't really have anything that we can use with that yet. But we do have this plate that we can go use. So we're going to go ahead and do that. we'll just go back near our sacrificial altar. And the book page that we got told us that the archer saw the beast to the east, so that would leave our archer to the left side. We're going to go ahead and put it on the left. And this is probably the weirdest storage closet I have ever seen to put your light bulbs in, but whatever floats people's boats. So now we have a light bulb for our second floor where we can put it in the lamp. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Again, seems like a pain in the ass to put your light bulbs in such a closet, but you do you. We have this lamp back here, and we also have a light bulb, so we're going to use our light bulb on the lamp. And it looks like there was an attic space here the whole time, so we're going to go ahead and pull the cord. Well, apparently we're a little too strong, so we're going to go ahead and get out our hook with our handle. Convenient. And we're going to go ahead and get the hatch open. And let's go on upstairs. Place looks pretty terrible. There's a giant hole in the roof with a diary entry. February 10th, 1987.
The voices are getting louder, and the way they rattle my bones becomes more and more unbearable by the day. I told James to follow me to the attic, but he said that he couldn't hear anything. He must be deaf not to hear such a cacophony. Either that or he's lying to me.
And there's a sheet in the corner. That's definitely not a spooky ghost. But we also have a safe. And we do know that there is the verses downstairs underneath the stairs, as well as that painting that we saw. So we're going to go ahead and try and enter those numbers. Didn't appear to work. Maybe I entered them in wrong, so... Jesus was 15, John was 40, and the dove was 90, I believe. But it doesn't appear to be working. We're going to go back downstairs, just to make sure that I've got all of those numbers right. $15, $40, $60, not $90. So I was entering it wrong. We start off going to the right because Jesus was first in the verses. So 15. Then we go to the left. Since John was next, we go to 40. And the dove was last at 60, so we go to the right again. And here we have another tablet and a page.
As the creature writhed and squirmed in a pool of its own blood, the archer raised both his hands directly above him and exclaimed,
This is thy time, foul beast. Thou flesh thou shalt forfeit for the breath of your sins.
It was midnight when the final blow fell upon the beast. Its flesh was placed on an altar, and only then was the chimera's limp body set in its final resting place.
But we're going to go ahead and empty the safe. The story seems to be indicating something to do with the clock. given that it's talking about the archer's hands pointing upwards. It also indicated that the time was midnight when the beast was slain, so seems to indicate that we would want to make the clock midnight.
Since we came to this land until now, we wasted the house of the forest we were to have shared. Like a shot from the sky, the eagle we say is America.
Well, that's certainly an indicator. Given that it dinged, I assume we did something well. Go ahead and combine our page with our book now. Same thing we did as the last time. But now that we have this other stone tablet, we're going to go ahead and take it down in this well. And let's see what happens. Well, the closet got even deeper. And it gave us a doorknob. So we're going to go ahead and take that. And doesn't look like we can do anything with this altar. At least not with the book. But we do have a door that we haven't used upstairs yet in the house, so we're going to go ahead and see if our doorknob will allow us to use that. Oh, we do have 2 open holes here, so we can go ahead and check that first, but doesn't appear like a whole lot will work with either of the holes in this door. And we apparently can't make a crowbar knob, so it's a little weird. Let's go on ahead back inside. And the person is now missing that was watching TV. And the TV is off. It's a little strange. A little spooky. Oh, hey, whoa, whoa. Full Dutch angle. Let's see. We can't open our inventory. She is also trying to punch the shit out of us. And the floor is mysteriously missing. That's kind of odd. None of our doors are working. We do have a gun, so I guess we can just go ahead and use that. This is a very strong woman. And we miraculously teleported to the other side of the room to shoot her. A little strange. Oh good, the floor's back behind us. She also teleported a little closer to us. Kind of strange, she was further down the room. Seems very torn up about having killed this woman. Well, re-killed her, I guess, would be the better sense. October 1987.
Dear James, I found out that you're living in your sister's house now. I'm so sorry for what I did to you. I never wanted to hurt you with the things I said. None of them were true. I love you. Please, come back. I miss being here with you.
Well, it seems like Eleanor wasn't too happy with her situation that she blames herself for. Well, we're going to go ahead and use our doorknob as originally intended on the door. And this room's kind of gross. Very disheveled and messed up. June 2nd, 1987.
I knew it. James is one of them. Why is he doing this to me? The only thing I can feel is hatred. Every time he touches me, my skin crawls. I can't bear him being here. I told him to leave.
December 16th, 1987.
James came back home, but this time something about him is even more off than last time. I don't have any options left. I dug a hole in the garden. I hope it's big enough.
I guess the real question for the garden would be, did she dig it for James? Did she dig the well hole? Or did she dig the hole for the small key? Because there's a lot of questions to be had there. And if she dug the hole in the well, then yeah, I think she dug it pretty deep. But we got an insignia off the wall. That seems to match up with our insignia in the well. And looking at some of our items just for the heck of it. Got an old grandma rocker. Just kind of weird to be one of the only things up on the landing, but whatever works. And there's apparently nothing else in the understairs room. A bunch of abandoned old boxes over in the corners. So we go on back outside. And it's kind of weird that they dug this hole just for that, but they dug that giant hole just for a key. But still, it's a little weird. We're going to head on back out to the outback here, where the barn and the silo are. Still don't know if there's anything in particular with this tiny little guy, but a little weird. Unless it's just some inside joke, but I don't personally get it. We're going to go ahead back in the barn here. And there's this ding that we hear in the barn, which lets us get this needle. An ordinary needle. We're going to go ahead and take that needle to our basement door, because there's actually 2 holes in the store for some particular reason. So there's nothing special about this place, but it is still a place to look at. Seems a bit familiar. Although it seems to be missing the giant gyrating lady and the fetish in the sink, or the fetus in the sink. And a radio that just likes playing static. That's a little strange. Not entirely sure what's up with that, but it is interesting to just go through and see if there's anything. Apparently the loudest point on the radio static. A little bizarre. But it doesn't look like either of our doors at the end of the hallway work. Or our door that would normally lead to a bathroom. Cute little Easter egg, though. If anybody is unaware, it's a Easter egg to PT, the Silent Hill predecessor demo that came out a few years ago now, but did gain massive popularity. So we're going to go ahead and back down into our well with our angel insignia. Which fits ever so perfectly into this door. And time to go to the boiler room. Not really. Does kind of remind me of the first Silent Hill, though. And the ancient burial spiral staircase underneath this house in the middle of Kansas. A little bizarre, but not a first. Oh, that's... I certainly wasn't expecting Shodan.
He's on his way to the east.
She was alone, a prisoner of her rotting hollow of flesh,
And bones.
and for a long time she didn't feel anything, until the inner circle reached out its hand to her.
I'm Lewis.
And suddenly she understood she was dead.
Yet she lived.
She went into a state of chrysalis.
She did well.
I'm so proud of her.
He talks to Sam.
Just a coincidence? Dying is living. Look at her. She looks like Eleanor.
That's impossible.
Well, we broke it. Anyways, we're going to keep going on and get our strange implement here. A little odd that we went into the very depths of hell to get that and talk to a giant Shodan glass head, but we've got it now. we're going Silent Hill mode. Little odd. Although I do believe these are supposed to be vines and not chains. Very Silent Hill 3 run from the red light in the Borley mansion kind of scenario. And we're definitely not going back down there. But we've completed pretty much everything else, so now we're going to go use our strange iron implement that we got. And we do still have our key, so we're going to go ahead and combine those. And we'll use our key on the door. And it's just a small room with a painting in it. But if anybody remembers Silent Hill 3 as well, I'm sure this is an homage to a particular mirror room there. Kind of weird how the 4x3 letterboxing effect all turned red. But I guess it would look kind of weird if it was still black on the sides. And now we just have a disconnected phone in the middle of a random hall with very shiny floors. Whoever did these floors deserves a pay raise. But when in doubt, just keep running in a random direction in scenes like this. So we're just going to use the easiest direction and keep running straight. And now there's a random rectangle. I don't know if I'd call that a cube, but whatever works. So we'll just keep running straight some more. And kind of random, but there is a phone ringing at the desk here. So we're just going to go ahead and answer it. Certainly something. Here's our side walkways have disappeared, so now there's nowhere to run but straight. very menacing looking woman at the end of the table with all the missing posters. Apparently one of them is us. So that's kind of odd. You know, I feel like the computer chairs on a marble flooring like this, you would just go flying in a direction and not be able to stop. Be kind of cool, but also terrible. Not sure what she's whispering to us, but it must be interesting. Also, our dude apparently chugged the hell out of that wine in the meantime because it is damn near gone. You know, it kind of bothers me that there's a transformer on every single one of these poles, yet there's no house that it's running to or anything. It's kind of weird that transformers are used to step down voltage for a house. So having two on every single pole is kind of odd. Maybe that's the mystery of Lake Haven. But anyways, that was Lake Haven. It's a bit of an oddball game, but pretty good. This was just like a prelude, beginning kind of demo-y game, but I look forward to playing the full one whenever it does come out. Should be very interesting. Like Silent Hill combined with Twin Peaks kind of thing. So, other than that, thanks for watching. Thanks to the game makers for making the game. And everyone have a good one.